Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. TSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap P.O.D., Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike, money's killers, Mike even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? What up? We're live. Last call. Monday. Here we go, baby. January 22nd. Time to dig into a new week and make some new money. And I'll tell you what, I had to sit with the horrible taste of last Friday all weekend long. So I'm excited to get back to work here and dig into the card. And I appreciate everybody dropping in here. You guys know what to do here. It's Last Call, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Pub Sports Radio. We get it all down, all that last-minute information you need to go out there and cash more tickets. Tonight we go. It's a weird Monday here. I was looking back at the notes. First Monday without some form of football all the way back to August. So it's going to be a little bit more of the same as we go. We just closed out the divisional weekend in the NFL. Shout out to them boys that got the job done. Kansas City Chiefs kind of ruined my fun last night, but hey, we still got some live bets out there. That was all good. Of course, the Detroit Lions. Shout out to them guys. Big show. I know our guy Razor Sharp Picks hanging on to that futures ticket as well. And oh yeah, there's a couple of teams in San Francisco and Baltimore playing as well. So lots of fun to come here with the championship weekend next Sunday. Then we'll have the bye. Then we'll have the Super Bowl. But it's just heating up in hockey. And of course, you guys know what's going on. The association and college basketball, very mature in the season now. Lots of data, lots of information to help us crack them books and get that check. So let's get into it here. Shout out to everybody that's rocking with us, guys. You know the story. We need you to do three things. Smash that like button for us. Help us get this message out there. Show your appreciation. Show your support. Make sure you hit that like button for us. We're just getting started with this thing, and we're just trying to get bigger every single day. And we need your help. We need your help to do so. It takes a village to raise this show, and we're hoping that everybody enjoys the content and can smash that like button for us. Grab a pen and paper. You know the deal here. Not just myself, our guests that come on stage, and all you guys in the chat getting sharper and sharper by the day. You're going to want to write down those picks. You don't want to miss out on winners from our gang out here from Post Sports, all trying to smash the books with the same collective effort to give out the best picks in the chat. And then last but not least, throw your best picks out there in the chat. We want to see what you guys are looking to cash on here. A lot of us kind of look at the card entirely different, top to bottom, and that's what makes this so great and unique, right? We've got not just, you see the panelists and sharing their plays, but everybody attacking from a different angle. And just like our guy Perky Bumps is, here we go. Perkman, midday beer and a bump special. McNeese, he likes the McNeese State money line with UNC money line out there for our guy. What up, Perky Bumps? First guy into the chat to make them comments. Appreciate that. And there's my homie Ian Shaber out there rocking and rolling. He's asking Perky if he's planning on doing a little skiing tonight. So Joseph Thompson's in the house, though. Appreciate my guy Joseph Thompson, always rocking with us tonight. Says I need to get some cash. Hey, listen, man, we all give out some winners or losers here and there, but it's about winning on the consistent, and that's what we do. So best time to follow a capper right after a bad day, and they're going to come back with the series of averages out there. But our guy likes tonight. He likes the Idaho State, Montana State over 134.5. The line moved down. He got it at 137.5, and it's his best model play. So you guys know what to do with that one. Write that one down for sure. I already have it written down, as a matter of fact. So I had the 137. My boy was hitting me up earlier today telling me about that thing. So I like the fact that we can get even more points if it's his best model play out there. Let's rock. Perky Bump says, Ian, hell yeah, about to smack this parlay with that McNeese in Kansas spot. Two-step my way to the fridge for the 20th beer. All right, my guy, 20 beers deep already. Perky Bumps rocking out there. Let's go. Tori Coker's in the houses. Money, Mike, let's get this cash and hit the like button. You damn well better hit that like button, my guys. You know the deal, Tori Coker. Great to see you, my guy. The Futon Bets likes Wake Forest tonight at +7.5. I like that spot, Futon Bets. It's not an official play for me, but I could certainly get down with that. I just think that's a weird kind of trappy little line out there. Everybody loves UNC, and it's not. Now, is Wake Forest going to come out there and win the game outright? Well, probably not. I mean, it's a difficult situation. You're going on the road to UNC. We were talking about that earlier today on the session. I know our guy Dabby was kind of leaning towards that UNC side of things, and I'm not sure. I kind of want to say Wake Forest is for real. So, nonetheless, lots of cash coming in on UNC, and the line's dropping. It's becoming more favorable. Still some 8s out there, but our guy Futon Bet sharing his play. Subhuman Gaucho, what up, homie? What's going on, Subhuman? Morgan Spooner, he's on McNeese, he's on Kansas, and he's on the UNC money line. Yeah, a lot of that UNC money line, that certainly makes a lot of sense. Those points might just be a couple too many out there for UNC to try to get the job done when you've got this motivated Wake Forest team. Morgan Spooner says, favorite dog of the day is Northwestern State over an awful Southeast Louisiana team at plus 210. Love to see them dog looks, our guy Morgan Spooner. And I'm excited. I got a couple nice dog looks tonight. One in hockey, and then I put together a little prop parlay for the NBA, and they're both at some 3-1 spots. So we've got some pricey favorites today, and I think there's going to be some reason to believe that those aren't just going to get there and cash as sweat-free as everyone thinks. So love to see the plus money spots out there. Morgan Spooner says that Michigan win forever endeared me to McNeese. Joey Kryptonite says, yo, what up, Joey? And then Joey Hart, fire intro. I was shorted today for whatever reason. StreamYard did not give me the introduction. I had that message that said blank screen and not loading. So I'm going to have to go back and watch the replay. And you guys know we always have these replays archived out there on YouTube. Check them out. Get it done. If you miss a play, you want to go back and kind of hear some of the analytics or the stats behind it to track for future references. Always out there for you guys to play through. Go out there, subscribe to Pub Sports Radio. And our homie Director 97, there he is. What up? Says Spurs plus 14.5, Pistons plus 12.5, Lehigh plus 12.5, Northwestern State plus 7.5. Best of luck, everyone. Let's get her done. Our guy, Director 97, giving us some action. Ron Lofton's in the house. Michael Johnson, he says, yo, Mikey, thanks for the over on the Rangers last night. Didn't think it was getting there. I kind of thought the same thing. That was a funny little spot to watch it kind of come down and close at the end. I'll tell you what, though, I took a beating with the butt end of a revolver, it felt like, after that Seattle Kraken game. So that was not the way I wanted to end the night. Gave all that live money back, but whatever. We're going to go again. We're going to fire it up. And Trisha M's in the chat. Hey, all here early because I need the NHL plays for the swift kick I get on that Chiefs win. Yeah, that was not what we wanted to see. But hey, we did get that Green Bay cover. So, that was important for us out there. It was okay. Chase Smooth's out there. Chase Smooth says he likes the smooth balls. POD is UNC -8. Joey Kryptonite says under 6.5 in the Bagels Devils. And of course, the Blackhawks money. Of course. Why wouldn't you be on that Blackhawks money line, my guy? Let's go. Good on you. Patrick Burns out there. Let's go. You like over Wake Forest, UNC. I like that look as well. Patrick Burns. Nutflush. What up, my guy, Nutflush? Great to see you out here, my man, giving us them team total looks and putting cash in everyone's pocket. BT, EQ. The gang is here, assembled and ready to go. I want to keep shouting out all of you guys with these plays that you keep sharing. The Kings, Michael Johnson, under 6 out there. Ron Lofton says, wanted Bethune, but I missed the line by 4. Yeah, that's kind of a big swing. You don't want to be chasing. We're too early in the week to be chasing. Got to start this thing off and build it up. So let's go. We got a guy, Nathan Cerna's out there. He says he's on the Cowboys in them. Took those Tar Heels at home -5.5. Little maybe adjusted number or an early number out there for our guy, Nathan Cerna. Ricky Bobby, I got Montana State team total over, says Ricky Bobby. Jose Sierra's out there rocking with us. We're about ready to get this thing rolling. Chosen One's here. That means we can damn well get moving here. Kansas first half, -4.5 for our guy, the Chosen One. Timmy Tushu. Timmy Tushu likes the Kennard 4+ 3-pointers made in the NBA. I'd love to see the props too, man. Thanks for sharing. Timmy Tushu. Caddy Daddy, what up? Nathan Cerna, of course, he's got that Jayhawks first half -4.5 as well. And we're about ready to roll. Top set. He says, I have no idea what I want today. It's a kind of a good size card. It's just it's a little bit of a think I liked every single spot in the NHL. I found it a little more difficult than a couple of the other angles. So thank goodness we've got some trends to get us paid on, and we're going to talk about those here as we get rolling. But you know what the deal is. First and foremost, we got to go through the recap, and I hate to have to do this because I think this is the worst show performance that we've had in the 2.5, almost 3 months that we've been doing this, and it was a 1-7 day. I can't even believe I'm embarrassed. fucking embarrassed. I shouldn't have said that so quickly into the stream here, but look, wearing my emotion on the sleeve when I'm not winning. I know you're not winning, and that's just not a lot of fun. So, we did add that New Orleans Pelicans first half spot that got done for us, but the Lakers got beat up. Charlotte took the under. That game was over. The Magic plus 5.5. Colorado State, the only college basketball play we had. Some good live money on that thing, but shit the bet on the first half. The Islanders under 6. Detroit money lines, and Florida minus 1.5. So yeah, they were plus money spots, but what's it matter if they're plus money spots if you're not getting the cash? But the good news, we're going to put that over in the corner and park it, kind of look at it as an ugly score in an overall contest that we're trying to get on top of here. So let's go. Morgan Spooner says, way to own it, Mike. Be a goldfish. Not sure what that means, Morgan Spooner, but yeah, I do have to own it. I mean, look, we're doing this on the regular, so it is a damn well right bounce back spot. What up, Wine Time Sports? Good to see you, my homie out there rocking with us tonight. He was partying all weekend, his bro's birthday and things like that, so he was having a good time out there, I'm sure. Nathan Cernas is under 134 in Mississippi State. Yeah, let's go. Let's see what we can get there. Keith says, you know what time it is. Last call. Let's go. Great seeing you on Mike M. Bounce back today. Yep, it happens. Yeah, had a 15-plus unit week in footy, and then today gave back 4.5, says our guy Subhuman Gaucho. It's the battle in the war, right? That's why we got to be concerted, and every play has got to be the same. There's some plays you might like better than others, and you go out there and you hit them, but at the end of the day, we got to stay, stay disciplined in the way that we approach this game. Okay, Morgan Spooner says, goldfish have short memories. They don't ever regret a bet. They just cash their winners. Yeah, I've never seen a goldfish cash a winner, but but I get down with it. I appreciate that, my guy. Thanks for the analogy here. And short memory indeed. So let's get to work though. We've got ourselves a card. We've got, like I said, a full NHL card. Only game that I passed on was ultimately the Vancouver game, and I still was thinking about this Vancouver and the under as like a little same game parlay, but not interested in it. There's a guy picks from Dave says, I swallowed a goldfish once. We talked about that last night, Dave, didn't we? I remember something about goldfish being out there, but away we go, you guys. Here we've got ourselves a full NHL slate. We're over 100 plus, ready to rock here for this new week. Pub Sports Radio, last call, baby. Let's get into it. Let's get these sleeves. Let's crank them up a little bit. Let's get comfortable. Let's get ready to talk about this card because there's going to be, I think, some really great opportunities to smash and cash all over the place. So we're going to dive in here again. You guys throw your plays out there in the chat as we go, and please hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. This is going to be where we're at, 6 p.m. Eastern. Going to give you guys all these last minute angles and moves, all the things you need to find a way to get more cash in your pockets. And cash indeed. We're going to pop off with this first game. We're looking at this Winnipeg Jets and this Boston Bruins game. If you like low scoring, hard hitting, defensive style hockey, this might be for you in this game here. The Boston Bruins, facing off, hosting them Winnipeg Jets. And Winnipeg Jets right now, what a spot they've got with Connor Hellebuyck, one of the best goalies, if not the best goaltender in the NHL. The stats this guy's amassed to start this career or the season off are amazing. He's 23-7-3. Overall, the 7 Ls, not the best thing, but he's got probably the most starts of any goalie in the NHL. Other side of things, they're bringing back Swayman out there at 14-3-7. Both these guys are averaging in the 2.15 goals against average for Hellebuyck, 92.7% save, 2.36 goals against average, 92.2% save for the Boston Bruins. And, there's a lot of looks and lots of angles on this thing. I know Winnipeg's 9-1 in their last 10. Boston's sitting there on a 4-game win streak. I think the home ice advantage makes a lot of sense in this one. Look back at Swayman. Swayman, 4 of his last 5 games, he's allowed 2 goals or less. That's a 3-0-2. The impressive part about that 3-0-2 is they're catching points in every single one of these games. So we got a home team at a low price with the hot goaltender in Swayman at a 92.9% save. On the other side of things, obviously we got a factor going on right now with Connor Hellebuyck. You got to respect what he's doing. He took an L, then he comes back and he rebounds with 2 wins. Those 2 wins, he stopped 69 of 72 shots for a 95.8% saving factor. The crazy part, though, as I broke it down, he's only allowed 2 or more goals. More than 2 goals in 21 games in the NHL season thus far. 21 games where he hasn't allowed more than 2 goals. One time he's allowed more than 2 goals. That's an impressive run for a goaltender out there that's firing. And look, Bruins love playing Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. They're 76-22 out there. Also, I think this factor kind of correlates most in terms of the ultimate side for this game. It comes down to a struggling power play. When your team hasn't gotten a power play goal in the last game and you're now an away dog, you're 39-82 in those spots. Road teams as a dog with more than 0 days rest, so they have at least 1 day's rest baked in there, are also in a 17-48 spot. So we know that also fits the Winnipeg Jets. And last but not least, we're looking at this thing saying when you last played the Capitals, the Blue Jackets, or the Canadians, and you're a home favorite, you're 30-19. So lots of trends here that support, I think, an opportunity. Try to look for both sides of it. I didn't see really anything that said it was a Jets opportunity or angle. I just think that the malfunctioning power play with the fact that this team that's got a red-hot goaltender winning 9 of their last 10 is a small dog says enough about where Vegas thinks this line's going to end up. And the fact that it's sitting at minus 130 means that's where I want to get my cash out here. Just looking at line shopping real fast. Still one with our guys over there at Caesars. I mentioned it before. I'm going to have to reach out to those guys because they do a great job hanging some competitive hockey numbers out there. So, and of course, our sponsors through the Pub Sport community. But nonetheless, let's move on. Let's talk about game number 2 as we get rolling here. And let me see what you guys have to say. Mike Londo says he's on the Boston puck line. Swizz says we be pubbing. What's up? Dave says, what's up, guys? Best of luck. Hit the like button for our guy. Picks from Dave. Appreciate that. I know, Dave, I was saying at the start of the show, this is like the first Monday without a football game. So live stream and be gone, I guess. But anyhow, let's go. Timmy Two Shoes says he's taking the Bruins minus 1.5 at plus 165. Yeah, the 130s around that threshold that I'm comfortable playing that. I don't really want to go much higher than that because I think it just gets a little wonky after that. But game number 2, you guys know the deal. On the right-hand side, you will see the plays that we're going to drop in on. You'll see where we're at as far as the place across the top based on the bets that we're locking down. And I'm going with the home favorite again in this spot. Give me this New Jersey Devils team. Kind of an interesting breakdown. Oh, fuck. I just lost my my notes for the show. So bear it with me as we pull them back up. But fortunately, the internet's working plenty good today. We're back up and rolling, and we got Logan Thompson at 16-9-3 for the Vegas Golden Knights out there, going against a little Vito Vanacek spot at 15-7-2. And you're going to see a couple of these kind of themes with the plays that I have tonight. If I was kind of looking at how this thing breaks down, it's kind of expecting some regression and progression. And then where I expect the regression in this case is the Logan Thompson side. Logan Thompson's been running a lot of games out there. He's 261 with a 91% save percentage. Vanacek on the other side at 3.22 goals against average and 88.5% save percentage. But the big thing that's going on out here is Nico Dawes came in and kind of gave a much needed rest and recoup opportunity for this New Jersey goaltending out there. They were just getting blasted, 6 or more goals like every single game. They started the season scoring on a lot of overs. Then they kind of hit their scoring slump, and the other team was scoring a lot of goals on them. But, Nico Dawes comes in, and he did his job for a couple of games out there to get things right. Well, he just got blasted. He just took a lump, 6-2 game out there where he just got shelled. And on the other side of things, Logan Thompson's had to be the guy to go in net because everybody else has been hurt. Aiden Hill, though, is expected back this week. They're thinking he comes back tomorrow. And that's important because this is the first leg of a back-to-back spot for this Las Vegas team. So they need him to get out there. And again, it kind of puts a little vulnerability or risk out there, in my opinion, on the New Jersey side of things. If goals get a flying, and New Jersey starts finding that puck early, Las Vegas is in trouble because they don't have Aiden Hill back there on the bench yet to get it done. Now, Thompson has gotten 3 wins in a row. He is letting 2 or less goals in and saving 95.6%, but he's a 91% goaltender. And he's kind of stretched out the mileage, I think, for what's been going on here by having to fill in for Aiden Hill. The flip side of things, Vanacek was getting shelled. Nico Dawes comes in, threatens his position a little bit. And what happens when they go back in there for him? He saves 29 of 30 shots playing a Columbus team in a 4-1 victory. So Vanacek, here's another one of those spots. 2-0-1 in the last 3 games. Points in each of those Vanacek starts. We have another factor out there where you've got the malfunctioning power play and you're an away dog. Here we go, 39-82. So 2 spots fit that criteria. And I think those numbers are so critical because we see so many special teams goals get scored in here. You've got a home favorite spot. When you're the home favorite off a loss in the New Jersey Devils case, you're 124-66 over the last 190 games. And then last but not least, if you're the home favorite off a loss, that's lined up to -160, you're 35-15. So lots of great reasons, I think, to jump in and get involved with this New Jersey Devils team. Coming off that 6-2 loss to Dallas doesn't sit well, but I think what we've got here is Vanacek coming back into form a little bit. And I think we're going to see this little gassy nature out of Logan Thompson. He's going to probably gas out a little bit here, I think, down the stretch in that second and third period. So even if they fall behind early, this New Jersey Devils team, I think the opportunity to bounce on these guys, it's only going to take 1 or 2 power play opportunities for them to catch back up and take that advantage. So great bounce back spot for the home New Jersey Devils. Play number 2 of the card for last call tonight. And let's keep it moving. We're going down the line again. Markel says late night sleepy special of NHL. Sharks first period money line. We're going to cover that game, Markel. We'll get into that one shortly here. Liquor Store says if you hate Vegas, Coyotes 0-10. Interesting spot out there for them Coyotes tonight. Londo says I'm on the Vegas money line. Londo, I hate to see that we're on the opposite sides, but Blue Numbers is in the chat there. He says like the Bruins, but went with New Jersey. Yeah, if I was going to look at the two, I guess I like them both. So it's hard for me not to get involved. I already got again, unit management here, same unit stretched out across all of these games. So let's roll. Let's talk about this next game on the card. Ryan Woldridge says, hi, bro. What the odds 49ers winning the Super Bowl? I don't think very good. I don't like the way that they play football either. There's 2 teams I don't like the way they play football. San Francisco with those fucking checkdowns. And then the other side of things is Lamar Jackson with that bullshit, pull the ball down and run because he can't throw it. So I have a feeling that's going to be the Super Bowl matchup we see too. And it's going to be a game that's going to be a tough spot for me, but I got to give that some thought. So we'll see. I do think the Niners are going to, I'm sorry, Big Show. And of course our guy Razor Sharp Picks. I don't know what's going to happen with this Lions side though, but the 49ers pissed off and motivated after what happened last year. So Ron Laughlin says he likes the over 6 in the Yotes game. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. But first and foremost, let's talk about this Florida-Nashville spot. Here we go. Florida, SpongeBob taking the relief out there. He got a little bit beat up and bruised up that last game. So Stolarz comes in and relieves him to a 9-save on 10-shot performance. It was a 6-4 loss to Minnesota. So we have a bounce-back opportunity. Stolarz, 2.22 goals against average, 91.7. Of course, we know he's the backup, but more than serviceable. On the other side of things, Saros in net. Here's my concern about this. If you're going to ask me for a long-term look here or prediction with this Nashville Predators team, they keep running the Saros guy, and he's just not that fucking good. He's 18-17-1 in 36-game stretch, 297 with a 90.2. I mean, he's fine. He's not killing it. I wouldn't call him serviceable. He's taken the tread. He's taken the entire road trip on this thing, but at some point, this is just going to break this guy down. And now the flip side of things, as I look back at this Stolarz matchup, he did allow 5 goals in a spot out there against his former club. So certainly not a great spot there when he played those Anaheim Ducks and took a 5-4 loss. But here's the thing. Florida had a 9-game winning streak going, right? They were killing it. They were starting to get back to form where we expected them to. They then lost 4 in a row. So you got this team that, lost all those games at home as well. So probably in this case, the best thing for Florida, get your asses packed up and get on the road, go out there and have a little bonding opportunity for the team and try to figure this thing out, because you were kicking ass and taking names, and then you kind of fell back onto your heels. Now Saros is getting his 5th start. Interesting spot for Saros. 5th straight start. He did allow back-to-back 5-goalers out there. Then he's come back and he's had 3 or less in 4 in a row. So certainly a goalie that's capable, but I just think the factor here is that he's going to get a little taxed. He's going to run out of gas at some point. Previously when you've got 8 or more power play saves and now you're a favorite, you're 46-27. We just talked about special teams in that last game and how important it is when your special teams isn't firing. And that's where the majority of the goals get the advantage or the opportunity is when it comes not to 5-on-5s, but 5-on-4s and 4-on-3s and odd man opportunities that those create. And when you're finding a way to get 8 or more saves, your power play is clicking. They just maybe ran into a tough goaltender out there. And, I wouldn't go as far as to say that Minnesota's goaltender is a tough goaltender, but they are still getting those opportunities. And, a lot of times it takes these guys time. They get a 2-minute power play. They'll spend 30 seconds of that power play trying to get it set up in the zone, and then another 20 seconds passing before they even get a shot. So They're getting power play opportunities. They're drawing power plays. Critical factor for getting those odd man opportunities. They're setting the puck up, and then they're going to find a way eventually to pull the trigger, is what that 46 and 27 tells me. And if you got the 8 or more power play saves against you and you lost, you're 45 and 36 in those spots. So great opportunity. If you're an away favorite and you're on 2 days of rest and you got 2 teams of 40% or better win percentages, you're 2,321 wins to 1,533 losses. There's a sample size for you right there. It's a 60% win percentage in this favorite range, and it's a low juice opportunity because of how poorly we've seen the Florida Panthers play right now. The last game, if you got 30 or more shots and now you're a home dog, you're 40 and 77 in those spots. This is a tough spot, I think, tonight for this Nashville Predators team. I expect regression out of Staros. I expect Stolarz to come back out there, get the job done. And more than that, I expect goals out of this Florida side of things here. Their team total sitting around 3.5 to me seems, probably the opportunity to jump in at plus 125. But, I'm more of the straight player on this thing here. Somebody could twist my arm and talk me into it. But Top Set, there he is. He's going to twist some arms. He says, let's go. He's got the Panthers minus 1.5. And then Michael Johnson says it's dad's trip for Florida as well. What a better time, to get on the road than with your pops there as well, watching the games. You're going to have some beers afterwards, hang out, and probably get that rekindling of youth road trips out there. So should get them loosened up. It should get them ready to go. Liquor Store says, wish I could have round robin Boston by 2 with Florida. Interesting spot there to get that job done. So, yeah, I think it's a good opportunity here for these boys. Blue Numbers likes the San Francisco Super Bowl win at plus 145. There's an interesting number for you. Probably not going to see a number like that as they move forward here, especially after they probably wrap it up this weekend here against the Detroit Lions. But Brian Watson says, did we do the Bruins? Thanks, we did. And I'm on the Bruins, Brian Watson. So I'm leaning to them Bruins. That's how we kick the show off. Right-hand side, you'll see the plays that we're on and what we're going to cover out there as well. Mel likes the Winnipeg-Boston game under. Mel, I was saying the same thing. I think this is an opportunity with 2 goaltenders that are well above the NHL caliber right now, doing a great job keeping it to 2 goals or less. But what scared me on that is I did see a couple of trends that supported the over. So I just went to the Boston side of things. Think that's the game. David Burns says, watching from Cedar Hill, Texas. Let's go, David Burns. Good to see you, my guy. Guys, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Help me, help us, help the community grow, and help Pub Sports Radio get their flag in the ground with the 6 p.m. window. We're trying to tap into this thing and let everyone know we're here to do this on the real. Need your help by smashing that like button if you guys like what you're hearing. You don't like what you're hearing and you're going to fade away, that's fine too. Just hit that like button. Don't matter what you're doing, just hit that like button for us. And let's move on here. We're going to talk about this next game. I did a little buy up on the spot here. So I do have 1 total on the card tonight. I looked at this Penguins-Coyotes game and I thought this is the opportunity for an under. There's some 6.5s out there at minus 134 right now. And, that's moved quite a bit from earlier, huh? I guess we got some decisions to make. So, I see a minus 105 on Bet Rivers for the 6. I'm going to take that. I'm going to make that move and adjustment. I'll explain to you why here in just a minute as we get going. But I expect this to be a lower scoring game. This is a revenge spot out there. The last time these two teams played, it was a 4-2 score with the Pittsburgh Penguins playing. But here we go with Jari back in net at 12-13-4, kind of mediocre numbers on the season. Ingram, though, we talked about Ingram back at the end of November and into December. They ran that hot hand until they broke him. Then they had to kind of pull him back a little bit. And he's starting to recover. He's starting to rebound as well. These goalies are very comparably matched up at 2.5 goals against for Jari, 91.5% save percentage, 2.49 for Ingram at 91.9% save percentage. Ingram, 1-1-1 in his last 3. It's his 5th start in a row because they just keep going back to the hot hand. 5 goals allowed to the Islanders for this guy. Then from that Islanders game, he's rebounded to 3 goals or less in his last 6. They have found a 3-1-1 in those spots as well at 93.2%. So again, I mentioned the revenge spot out there, but I just think the big deal is this lower scoring opportunity. The Coyotes did outshoot them boys last time they played, 43-21. So where was the difference? I don't do this on purpose, but sometimes it just feels like it rolls this way. Penalty kills, power plays. Both sides went 2 for 5 with the man advantage in that last game out there. And what's the difference in this game right now? Both power plays are struggling. So they had a 2 for 5 opportunity the previous time. We saw a 4-2 final score. Each of them, again, 4 of the 6 goals in that game came from power plays. Now we've got both teams struggling on the power play. I think this low-scoring edge is the opportunity. I am going to go to the 6. I'm going to hate to push this thing because I didn't want to pay the 134 for the 6.5, but I want to keep the vig down in this one here because I think this is the right opportunity here. This is like a 3-1 type of revenge spot, in my opinion, for the Coyotes. They do have a slight home edge advantage, 14-9 when they're playing at Mullet Arena. Ingram should be doing quite well. Believe it or not, Ingram, third in the league with 14.4 goals saved above expected average out there. So they track so many stats and analytics now with the capability of sports management. But in this case, he is the number 3 goaltender in the league again at 14.4 goals saved against average or expected. Again, I mentioned the special teams being in a bad spot. Arizona's given up a goal on a penalty kill in 3 straight games, but they've gone 0 for 8 on their own power play. So not a great spot when it comes to trying to look at those special teams. They're going to have to manage this game by staying out of the box, keeping it clean. They don't want a physical game because they know if it gets too physical, then they do take penalties and they lose that next game. So they got to go out there. They got to manage this game appropriately. I was kind of surprised here, kind of quietly with all the star power that's out there in the NHL. Sidney Crosby having an MVP kind of season out there. He's 36 years old. He's tied for 8th in the league with 26 goals, tied for 6th in plus-minus rating amongst forwards at 18, and he's top 20 with 47 points. So I was surprised to see that. There's no relevance behind this game for me other than just that I wanted to give him a shout out because he's still out there doing it. I know I'm critical about their old age of this team with this Pittsburgh lineup, but I was impressed to see that. So what that's going to make me think about going forward is Sidney Crosby point props are going to be live as I start to look at some of these same game parlay opportunities. But official play for the card, Pittsburgh under 6 at -106. I'm sorry, at -105. And David Burns says Coyotes are good at home. Yeah, 14-9-1. They're better at home than they are on the road. Good spot, I think, for that price overall. I wish their power play was a little more effective right now. That 0 for 8, I just talked previously in the last couple of games. What did we end up taking? We ended up taking the teams that are having some power play shots and success. We're fading the teams that are not. And in this case here, I think that correlation comes down to us looking for a lower scoring game here. Liquor Store says Rod Z said Pittsburgh 10-0 versus Arizona the last 10 somehow. That's because Arizona stinks. They're not a good team, but they're a situational team where they can be solid and effective. So David Burns says he's going to take the Coyotes over the Penguins out there. Yep. I see that. I see that a lot. I think that's a good opportunity out there. Right now, the number, if you're looking at this game, is +130 is the best number you can get out there on the money line. But let's talk about this next game because you want to talk about a value opportunity and a prop. This isn't just a dart. Listen, there's a lot of people that cap hockey a lot of different ways. I've been involved in the game for a long time, playing, coaching, and everything else that goes along with it. Now talking about it from a sports capping perspective, some guys just look at it and say, hey, this team's a -400 and should they be, and they'll go the other way. I don't do that. That's not how I roll in this thing here. I want to come up with some valid reason behind it because sometimes they are priced at -400 and they should be for a reason. That's not the case in this game here. As you look at this thing and what's going on right now, it was kind of a battle. The thing that's happening with the LA Kings is, again, I said this the other night, everybody anointed them Stanley Cup champions in October. But guess what? You don't win the Stanley Cup in October. In fact, you don't win it in November or December either. You win it in June when it's hot and everybody's rolling out to the rink in shorts and sandals. So lots of games to go. And the LA Kings have fallen into that realm of mediocrity right now. How about this LA Kings team? 3-7-4 in their last 14 games. 3-7-4. Unbelievable to see that opportunity. The thing that's interesting about it is Rittich is the goaltender that's got those 3 wins for him. So David Rittich is going in goal right now for the LA Kings at 4-1-1 on his career, on his season. Mackenzie Blackwood for the San Jose Sharks, 6-17-3. It's a mismatch when you look at the goaltending stats. Mackenzie Blackwood was playing a lot of games, clearly. 3.69 goals against average, 89.4% saving. San Jose's left that guy high and dry on more than one occasion. They're not scoring goals. He's getting shelled. They're not playing defense. San Jose's a bad team right now. On the other side of things, Rittich, the silver lining in what's going on right now in this mediocre run for the LA Kings with a 1.58 goals against average and a 93.7 save percentage. It is Rittich's third start, so he has earned himself the ability to go back in the net. I just talked about their 3-7-4. Look, the San Jose Sharks aren't world beaters either. I got it. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10, but I couldn't really find a ton of trends. I saw a lot of 500 spots out there to take a look at this Kings team. I don't want to go and lay a -400 or even a -1.5 on the puck line. Look, There's not a lot of value out there when you're laying a -1.5 at -155. Wouldn't do that either. You'll never see me do that. I won't even do that in a parlay. There's no chance I would do that. But on the other side of things, when you've last played the Anaheim Ducks and your opponent's got less than 2 days of rest, you're 18-8. You got a 3.7 to 2.8 goals opportunity in final scoring out there. We're seeing that mark come right around 6.3, suggesting there could be scoring in this game. But screw the scoring. Give me the Sharks. Give me the Sharks at plus 315. Huge opportunity in a spot where, we're not catching LA Kings at their finest right now. And this number just does not index the way these two teams have been playing each other. If you want to take the plus 1.5, you want to be a little bit more puss safe at plus 128. Not mad at anybody for doing that. But I'm going for the boom or bust opportunity here. I think it's a good opportunity to take San Jose. It's going to be one of the better opportunities you're going to see to fade the Kings and have a reasonable opportunity to expect the San Jose Sharks to win. So 3-1 our money for an opportunity with San Jose Sharks. Hell to the yeah. We're going to jump on those guys. Brian Watson says, I won't lay -1.5 in any game. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I will if I think they're going to kick the shit out of them, but I don't think that's the case here. Jay Peasy, Kings versus the Sharks, our guy. Hope you had a good time. I think he was out there in Puerto Rico. I don't know if you're still out there. Maybe it's the extended vacay for our guy, Jay Peasy. Liquor Store says Chicago plus 150 seems like a long shot. I did see some trends that supported Chicago tonight. It just wasn't the spot I wanted to get into. The under, if anything, I would think is more of an opportunity there. Perky bumps. Mel likes the San Jose LA under 6 spot out there. Mel, it's always good to see you out there. And that's it. Michael Johnson says San Jose always plays the LA Kings hard. I'd be shocked the Sharks win. Good luck, sir. I'll be shocked too, but I'm expecting it tonight. So it's not one of those long shots where I'm just fading the team because they shouldn't be priced at this rate. They shouldn't be priced at this rate based on what their current run is. I get it with what's going on the other side of things, but we're going to take a whack at it. I do -1 on some games as well, Brian. I've done more -1s lately. Shout out to our guy, Jimmy the Bag there, because I was a big regulation guy, but to come back and push to go to overtime and you lose feels like it's self-defeating. So I want the opportunity to at least push in overtime. I like those -1s now. Let's keep it rolling, T. We're going to keep rocking here. We're going to move this thing on over to the hardwood. College basketball, guys. If you still have hockey plays out there, share them in the chat. We got ourselves a little 2-pack tonight in college basketball and, kind of a low-key game and a marquee game. So we're going to kind of cover both ends of this thing. 8 p.m. Eastern. We've got New Orleans versus Houston Christian. Here we go. We got this line opens up at -2.5, 56% of the bets, 83% of the money. If you guys are new here, we talk about the bets and the money. Bets kind of represent everything from parlay tickets, teaser tickets, $5 plays, and all the tickets kind of combine into those things. It's the money that we look at because that's typically the bigger bettors, the guys that need the exceptions when they go to the casino because they want to drop 10 dimes on a game and they need the book manager to come in from the back and say okay or not, right, depending on who the player is. So that's kind of how we break that down and try to look at. Now, does that unequivocally be the only way that it gets done? No, but it's just kind of a good index for us. And it's not about bets and cash and the handle. It's about how the books are reacting to this handle. So here we go. 56% of the bets, 83% of the cash on the New Orleans side of things. It opened at -2.5. We are seeing 3.5s out there now. So the 3.5s are juiced as well. So, we're probably going to see that thing continue to move to 4 by this 8 o'clock window. And if you look at the back number, it opens at 157. We now have 160.5s, 161s, 161.5s, and 162s. 62% of the bets, 71% of the cash on the over. There's that index we're talking about. The bigger money's coming in on the over. The books are now moving this thing almost 5 points from where it originally opened up. And this is a tough spot because, Houston Christian, somehow they pick up a win against Lamar as a 7.5 point dog. No, they were home. So that was a big expected spot out there, but at the end of the day, I look back at this New Orleans team and I saw, what are they doing? Well, they just lost to Northwestern State badly at home, 92-67. The thing that I like about what New Orleans does, they defend the 3-shot well. So they're not going to get run down and beat up by 3-pointers falling in at a high rate. They're going to force you back on odd spots and off-balance chances. They're also a high-scoring offense. 85 points plus is typically the average that we're seeing out of these guys. The problem that they're struggling with is 2 points out there. They're one of the worst teams in college basketball at defending the 2. Where the advantage, though, is Houston Christian, one of the worst college basketball teams at offensive turnover efficiency. What that means is the ball's coming out of their hands when they're going down the court. That leads to fast break points where the other team bangs down a 2 real quick. You got the ball back and you're kind of struggling and trying to figure it out. So here's an opportunity for a low price spot because of the last 2 losses to Nicholls State and Northwestern State for New Orleans. It's an opportunity for us to jump in, I think, and take advantage here. So -2.5. I expect them to win this game by 7 or 8 points. I think this is a low number opportunity, probably also because of what we've seen on the other side of things with Houston Christian. Houston Christian coming off of, that win. They've got 2 of their last 3 are wins, 1 road win against Texas A&M MCC, but I think tonight's a bad night for them. I just think it's the way that they match up in the game. That turnover factor is going to be more of a problem than expected, especially as the guys get tired. They start sweating. The ball starts flying around in an awkward position. I'm going to jump in on it. We're seeing the money correlation move the way we want it to as well. Let's move on. New Orleans, 8 p.m. Eastern, first start for the college game. And then let's jump into game number 2. It's a big one. Morgan Spooner says neither team will win this game. It's going to be who wants to lose it more. Well said, Morgan Spooner. Probably a lot of points too. So appreciate our guy Ron Gray out there. Says fade all plays. Oh man, you don't want to be doing that. You're going to be in the you're going to be in the I can't get back on the sportsbook type of business after that. But anyhow, let's go. Cincinnati and Kansas is the next game we're going to talk about here. Marquee matchup, if you will, of sorts. Here we go. 71% of the bets, 80% of the cash on the Kansas side of things. Opens up at -7. Now we're seeing 8.5s, 1.5 points of movement in the Kansas City direction, showing vulnerability or concern that they might not have set the number high enough. We're still seeing cash coming in on Kansas. It was 8 when the show started, or when I put this information together. Now we're seeing 8.5s. There are still 2 8s out there. DK, and let me see if DK still has it. Yeah, DK still has it at -112. So number's going to keep moving. By the time this thing pops off, we're probably going to see it get up to almost a 9. And that's where we want to be. So interesting opportunity with this game as you look at these 2 teams and the way that they get down with business here. Kansas coming off of a bad situation. Not a great situation with the way that they just played their basketball out there. They come off a bad loss at West Virginia. They're a 10-point favorite. They lose outright by 6 points to a West Virginia team. I'm always willing to discount that a little bit, though, because it's tough to travel to Morgantown. You don't get a lot of fan support. You're clear. I mean, they're burning couches in the street after they beat up a team like Kansas, and it's just a motivation spot. There's nothing else to do in Morgantown than go out there and watch them games. The win that they had prior to that was against Oklahoma State. They were a 7-point favorite. They waxed them boys by almost 25 points out there. So furthermore, they're a 6-point favorite against Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma. But it's these 2 previous games out there. TCU at home on January 6th, where they're laying 9.5 points. They only win by 2. They're playing UCF on the road. They're a 7-point favorite. They lose outright by 5. Add that to the West Virginia spot. This number should be 11 or 12, but it's the situation and the way Kansas has performed that's putting them in a bad spot right now. You've got a team where you've got kind of a footnote with this game. First ever trip for Cincinnati to Kansas. I've said before, I think there's 2 difficult spots to play in college basketball, but none is harder than to play at Kansas. That crowd gets raunchy. They get raucous. They're rocking and rolling, and they're ready to play some basketball. So it's going to be loud, and it's going to be real for Cincinnati to step on the court. I'm not mad at anybody. I saw our guy in the chat earlier talking about that Kansas first half spot too, but I think this is start to finish. Kansas pulls this thing away. When you're a top 25 ranked team and you're a home favorite versus a non-ranked opponent, you're 115 and 99. Your average win in those games is winning by 11 points out there. So comfortably covering the spread by double digits. Furthermore, Kansas off a loss against the spread, 6-0 since January 28th. Great opportunity to jump in on that Kansas team. And, for whatever reason, they're still ranked number 18. So despite the fact that they've had some bad losses, I mentioned UCF and West Virginia aren't going to help your resume when it comes out there to try to get a number 1 seeding in the March Madness tournament. So it's getting real for these guys. They got to go out there and figure it out. And they're one of the best teams with a higher level of talent than a Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati's been, wiry. I know they're a team that can go out there and win, but they're just not doing it. So, they did beat Baylor 71-60 outright as a 10-point dog on January 6th. I just think it's a tough travel spot. First time where it's going to be bright lights and shit's real and loud. Bad spot to be if you want to be on that Cincinnati side. So Kansas it is for us. We do see they love it back as a bounce back spot. Morgan Spooner loves the look. Let's go. Tony Pizzuto. Good to see Tony Pizzuto in there. I don't recognize that name from the past, Tony. So love seeing you dropping in here, my guy. Says his play is on Weber State -1. And then Morgan Spooner says, did anyone see Big Z play for Kentucky? Final Four team, now NBA level center. That's what you get with that Kentucky team. Caddy Daddy's on the Idaho State, Montana State over at 135. That was our guy Joseph Thompson's shot out there as well. So them boys like that Idaho State over spot there. We're starting to see that number move back up. And what's up, Kelly V? Good to see Kelly V out there. She likes the over in this Kansas-Cincinnati game. Yeah, Morgan Spooner says 110 and 16 spot off a loss for Bill Self. I think it's going to be a tough opportunity for these boys to play. The more I talk about it, the more I think I might double dip it as well and jump in on that. Morgan Spooner says college hockey is better than NHL. Morgan Spooner, I don't disagree, but if I came out here and did a show on college hockey, nobody would listen except for you and me, my guy. Maybe Kelly V and Mel. So, but we could always talk college hockey. I'm always happy to I keep my eyes on what's going on down there in the NCAA records there. JPC says he's just going to rewind. He tuned in late. Last 6 Kings versus Sharks games going back to 22. Kings 6-0, 4 games by 2 or more. Is the Sharks play only because it's plus money? JPC, I'm so glad you asked. And the answer is no. The answer is no, actually. So go back and check that out, my guy. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling here. We've got the NBA to get into. We got a couple of looks here on the NBA side of things. And then we're going to move on and we're going to shut this day down. So kind of a smaller card. Now, I did have some ads. I do have some ads in the NBA. So full transparency, we will have at least one more card, one more play that we're adding here. But let's jump off here. Yeah, can you believe it? I'm doing it again. We've had a lot of luck taking this Detroit Pistons team in last call, and we're going to do it again. The number has moved now to 13. 67% of the bets, 55% of the cash on the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's the thing. They announced Giannis is available tonight. It only moved a half a point. Remember when I said before, these players and the injury details, they know about this shit before they put the lines out there. You get the superstar of the team in there and it only moves a half a point. Give me them Pistons here at plus 13. Well, excuse me. We'll break it down and talk a little bit about it here. 247.5 is where the back number opens up. 55% of the bets and 82% of the cash on the over. We've only seen that move a half a point. Again, the Giannis factor is benchmarked at a half a point. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is out there. I mean, that's a situation where you got to look at that and recognize it and say, something ain't right. Something ain't right with what's going on here. And what it comes down to for me, look at the Pistons team. They're difficult to see. It is the second end of a back-to-back spot against this team. They did lose 141 to 135. They were 13.5 point dogs in that spot, and they were able to cover. I thought they were going to win that game. It's crazy as it is. The Pistons have covered 11 straight in this spot the last 2 seasons. When they're a dog and they allowed 135 points or more the previous game, they're 11-0. 7 of those games have been outright victories. I just mentioned they let up 141 points to the Bucks on Saturday. Here we go. We got this 13 as a gift of a number. I'm not telling anybody to go out there and play the money line, but I'm also not telling anybody not to play the money line. So, the money line sounds a little bit far-fetched in this case here. Plus 550. If you got the nerve, it might be worth a little sprinkle or something to that effect. Maybe it's a money line parlay with Detroit, the San Jose Sharks, and I don't even know who else I would throw in there. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it doesn't have to be anymore. But I think it's a good opportunity here. Again, back-to-back spot for these boys. When they get blasted and let up a lot of points, they come back firing. This 13, again, is the same spot that they were essentially the other night, and they didn't have any problem handling it. Giannis comes back. The books are only making it at a half a point spot. Not a lot to get it. It's not a sexy pick out there. This plus 13, I hate to have this plus 13 spot on the card, but just feels to me like this is now the second time you're playing this team in a row. They're going to get disgusted. They're not going to want to play the second half of this game, in my opinion, from the Bucs side of things, unless Detroit's smashing them early. If Detroit's out there up at halftime, might be a whole deal on the second half, but I think it's more likely that we get that backdoor cover because it's a fourth quarter that the Milwaukee Bucks just entirely check out for as one of the worst fourth quarter teams in the NBA. Kelly V says Milwaukee 1-9 against the spread lately. Absolutely. Kind of an intersection spot out there, right? Ricky Levine says Pimp Slap, what's cracking? NHL plays Florida money line, Vegas money line, Sharks plus 1.5, plus 130. Hit the like button, he says. Absolutely. And Joseph Thompson sharing one more play for us. He likes the Texas Southern Jackson State over 142. Joseph Thompson, my guy, thanks for sharing. Director 97 says Pistons. Let's go Pistons. Sometimes you have to sniff red flags out. Let's go Pistons. I agree. I totally agree. Swizz likes Jaden Ivey over 31 points, rebounds, and assists. The Chilla says he got Wake Forest plus 8 last night. Let go. I like that spot. Chillest, go get him, my guy. Good luck on you. And Coin says, got some Detroit over 248 in my pocket, Mike. Let's have a Monday. Let's have a Monday indeed here, guys. Let's go. Let's talk about this next game. Before we get to that one, I believe I have one. Let me look. Give you guys the numbers here in the breakdowns. 57% of the cash and 70% of the bets. I'm sorry, 57% of the bets, 70% of the cash on the Sixers. That line's dropping. So it went from 14 to 13.5. That was a flag enough for me to kind of be cautious about it. I expect the Sixers to kick the shit out of the Spurs. I just didn't want to have to get involved in that one tonight. Just full disclosure for you guys here. I know a lot of you guys want to hear about all the NBA games, and you guys reach out to me all the time talking about it. So I'm happy to give you some of the insight around it. Just didn't want to get involved in that particular spot. Now, the Spurs are 0-8 against the spread when they're off a win by more than 1 point as a dog. So for what it's worth, this is a tough spot for me. I'm not getting the line movement the way I want it. All things aren't go for me on that game. The other game I looked at, the Cavs and the Magic, this line opened at 2. Cavs is a +2 dog. Now a -2 favorite. 76% of the bets, 87% of the cash. Buyer beware. The Cavs should probably kick the shit out of the Magic, but I haven't heard one person say Orlando Magic. Not one. Not a single person said Orlando Magic today. The Cavaliers are 0-21-1 against the spread if they're on the road, if they lost as a dog or a large favorite the last meeting. So tough spot for this Cavalier spot. Just out of pure spite, I almost jumped in on that Cavaliers. I'm sorry, on the Magic side of this things here, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Magic covered outright and get this win. They opened up as a favorite for a reason. And then as we continue to cruise around the court, the Memphis-Toronto game, 6.5, 48% of the bets, but 88% of the cash on the Raptors, -7 now. So we've seen a 0.5 point movement there. I kind of like that Raptor spot. I didn't touch the Hornets here. The Hornets Timberwolves, 15.5 is where it opens up. It's down to 13. We have 73% of the bets and 71% of the cash on the Timberwolves, and it's dropped 2.5 points from the opening number. That's a red flag right there. And we already know the Hornets are on my shit list. So I can't take them Hornets just out of good conscience in here. But next game on the card, I did take advantage of Celtics and Mavericks here. Look at this number. Give your head a scratch. This line opens up at 3.5. 61% of the bets, 39% of the cash on the Mavericks. This line's dropping despite all that public money coming in. It's now, there's 2.5s out. There's still a couple 3.5s, but we're seeing 2.5s now with the Boston Celtics side of things. The back number opens at 239.5. We got 240s out there. 78% of the bets, 57% of the cash. Looking at them Dallas Mavericks to get the score up there and put this game over the total. But I'm on the side on this thing here. You know, you look at teams and how they kind of position themselves. We know the Boston Celtics are what now? 21-0, 21-1, I think now at home. Yeah, because they just lost to the Bucks outright there last weekend. Or no, I'm sorry, the Denver Nuggets. They just lost their first home game. It's the road that they've been struggling out there. You know, they did win against Houston on January 21st. So this is their second game of a back-to-back situation. But as a road team against the spread, they're 8-12-2 out there. So not a super powerful strength spot for them. I know the Mavericks aren't killing it when it comes to being at home, but at 11-11. But how about this? When you've got more than 3 days rest and you're a home dog in a non-conference game, 4-1 against the spread. Also, when you're a home team with multiple days rest, you're 22-3-1 against the spread, covering the spread by 8 points when you're playing a team that's off of no rest in that spot if they have an average line that's either minus or +8 on the season. So in this spot there, we got this kind of double fitter where there's this no rest situation. And look at this line. I mean, suspiciously low now that we're seeing 2.5s. Again, can still get 3.5s out there. I'm jumping in on this thing. To me, this is red flag for Boston. I think it's a good money line spot out there. Caesars is our last one hanging the 3.5s. We have some 3s, and now we're seeing 2.5. So we're starting to see some buyback here. We're starting to see the movement against the Dallas Mavericks, which is what we want to see based on the timing of this game. So I would suggest if you like the Mavericks, you're going to have to get this one now because by tip-off, it's probably going to be sitting around 2.5s or even 2s. So for what that's worth, Ron Lofton says Nurkic over 22.5 points and rebounds. Grayson Allen over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Kelly V sharing some looks out there, says Memphis bad, very injured, side Toronto, but like the under a lot. I was so close to pulling the trigger on Toronto -7. I still might circle back and do it, but Kadesh Dean's in the house. What up, Kadesh Dean, my guy? Says Joker. I'm not sure. Joker beat him. Oh, I guess Joker beat him. Luka can beat him as well. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a great spot for Dallas here. Kyrie revenge game out of there. Love the looks and the angles out there. Caddy Daddy says DeMar DeRozan under 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists for our guy Caddy Daddy. And Perky. Good job, Perky. Good on you, my guy. Kadesh Dean says Jrue Holiday, a low-key bad defender, so watch the cooking. And then Kelly V says, Mikey M, NBA, Detroit and Dallas, a Thanksgiving special in January. Yeah, a bunch of turkeys that we can certainly feast on out there. So let's go. Brent Cook likes that map, says that's a good play out there. We'll see what happens. And then last but not least, I've got 2 more spots for you guys here. One play that I am moving on as well. I added the Chicago Bulls to the lineup here for my card tonight. I like the Chicago Bulls. It's now plus 180. So originally I talked about this on the sesh today. I shared I think Razor was talking about the 5s. I'm not going to steal his thunder out there, but here's a team that's lost 8 times in a row to the Phoenix Suns. And the Phoenix Suns, just one of those teams that, plays just good enough to get the job done. 65% of the bets, 58% of the cash on the Phoenix Suns. It's dropped a half a point. There's still 5.5s now circulating back out there. The number opens up at 229.5, now down to 226.5. 76% of the bets, 65% of the cash on the under. So they're certainly suggesting a lower scoring game in this one. And, as I was kind of looking back at it, I just thought, here's a spot where I think the Bulls can get right on the road here. It's, we know the Suns have been coming off their cranking. They got a nice little win streak going. Covering the spread has been a challenge. They're just 1-3 in their last 4 against the against the spread. And the Bulls, 2 covers in a row out there. They beat the Toronto team on the road. They beat Memphis at home as a 7.5. They cooked them boys by 30 points. So you got a team that's playing not too shabby out there. As I mentioned, the 8 in a row, but I just mentioned that blowout, right? So they just cooked up on Memphis Grizzlies, 30-point opportunity out there. They're 11-0 against the spread when they scored at least 17 points the previous game, but didn't cover by 17 or more 2 games ago. So kind of falling out of pocket there, not covering the spread by 17 points, getting blown out. Rebounding by a blowout suggests that they figure it out and they comfortably come back there and get the job done. So I added the plus 5.5 to the card. Not mad at anybody that wants to sprinkle the money line. I think that's a good opportunity. And then last but not least, I went together with a little same game parlay. So Ron Lofton says, Sun's starting to get with everyone healthy. I believe so. Kelly V says, believe Levine is out. Fine with that. That's fine with me. That's probably why the number's sitting at 5.5. But let's turn gears here. We're at 7 o'clock on the dot, so we want to get you guys out of here and moving for tonight's card. Get yourselves a nice little Monday night in you. And this is a little 3-legger, a little 3-leg parlay. I tossed this out earlier today. I tossed about some of the player picks. I ultimately ended up putting it together. I got 390 is now the best number that I was just able to get before the show started. We're going back to the show. Our show favorite, Scotty Barnes, under 8.5. We saw just a week ago after the quickly factor there, his rebounding number goes down to 6.5. It popped back up to 7.5 his last game. He got to a 7. Now they've moved it back to 8.5. So he's only gone over that number once in 11 games this month. And I think it's a great opportunity. Now I know Memphis is kind of a struggling team, and that's why they've moved this number up. Good opportunity, I think, for us to go back and get it. I've cashed on this one 10 times already this month and taken his under in the rebound prop. So I'm going to move that back here. It's a juicy spot though now over there on DraftKings. So I parlayed him together. I went to the Wembyana over 9.5 rebound spot. Obviously big night, big primetime game against Joel Embiid and the league's best 76ers out there. So he's going to want to show up. It's his first time out there as well, playing the defending MVP champ. So I think it's a great opportunity. This is going to be a battle. I don't expect the Spurs to hang in there. We talked about them being in that, I think it was 0-11 spot, but since Embiid's come back from injury, he's got 33 or more points in every single game he's come back and done it. But his rebound number has been fixated at 10. He's not getting over that 10 hump out there. So, and he had just 2 games with 7, which gives an opportunity for Wembyana at least to jump up on the stat line out there. So, he has kind of had a dip back in his performance his last 2 games from a rebounding perspective. But prior to that, he had 4 straight games with double-digit rebounds. He's averaging 10.1. So we just need him to get to his stat line against the Sixers team that allows the 8th most rebounds to opposing centers in the country in the association. Again, a nationally televised game. Minutes shouldn't be a problem for this guy. He's been averaging 26 minutes in his last 3 games. So that would be the only thing that could potentially screw us, in my opinion, is him getting short minutes because they're getting blown out. Now, they could get blown out, but this is a primetime game. It's a bright light spot, and it's the number one draft pick out there. You know they're going to want to go out there and show up and show out with this guy. And then last but not least, I went to Karl Anthony Towns. We see this Minnesota Timberwolves as a big favorite out there, but I took this number down to 20.5. His stat line, this is essentially teased down because his number line here, I should say, is sitting around it's sitting around 24.5, I believe was the last number I saw out there. The fact that the Hornets are so bad in their last 10 games, their point differentials minus 11.5, they should go out there and score. I don't know that the Timberwolves cover the spread. They're certainly a disappointment, but I think it's a good opportunity for Karl Anthony Towns to be one of the best guys on that team and go out there and get it done. When he's playing, and he's playing at an all-star level, he's averaging 21.6 points a game and 8.9 rebounds. So plenty of opportunity for him to hit this stat line. We just need him to get to 20. He doesn't have to get to his average on the season. Just get us to that 20 out there. We see the big difference and why I'm starting to lean more towards the Karl Anthony Towns spot again is because of how Anthony Edwards has been playing. He's definitely become more of that pass first type of guy, and he's passing over to Karl Anthony Towns. So give me Cat 20 plus. Give me the Wembanyama over 9.5 rebounds, and give me the under 8.5 rebounds for Scotty Barnes. That's a plus 390 when I put that in here pre-show. So for what it's worth, that's the big dog for us here tonight. We're looking at almost a 4-1 scoring and have a little fun in the NBA with a little prop ad. So appreciate everybody dropping in here. If you guys haven't done so already, smash the like button for us. Nasty Nate says Celtics second quarter, Subhuman Gaucho, Caddy Daddy, EQ, Kelly V, Morgan Spooner, Brent Cook, Ron Lofton. Everybody showed up tonight. North Enders out there rocking with us. Perky Bumps. We know he's one of the OGs there riding with Last Call, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. Chris Comantini, the Futon Bets, Brent Cook. Everybody's rocking with us tonight. Kadesh Dean back in the house, back rocking as well. So guys, it's all about us going to the windows and getting these winning tickets. We're going to rebound off of that Friday performance with a nice card tonight. Boston Bruins minus 130, New Jersey Devils minus 120, Florida Panthers minus 120. The under 6, we made that adjustment to minus 105 in the Arizona-Pittsburgh game, and the plus 315 San Jose Sharks. We got New Orleans at minus 2.5 in college basketball, Kansas at minus 8 in college basketball. Then we went to the hardwood in the association. We've got Detroit plus 13, Dallas plus 3.5, Chicago plus 5.5, and then the Wembanyama over 9.5 rebounds, Barnes under 8.5 rebounds, and Karl Anthony Towns 20 plus points at plus 390. That's going to do it for the show. Appreciate my guy T keeping it tight and right for everybody out there tonight. Go out there and have yourselves a night. Good luck with your bets, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Pulse Sports Radio, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Let's go, Last Call, baby. Let's get it.